Hi everybody, it's Juliet here. Welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be using some supplies from Beebeecraft. So if you don't know what Beebeecraft is, I have a whole bunch of other videos that show products that I've had from Beebeecraft. So all of these products are available at Beebeecraft, and if you go there you can order them and use the code JULES10, spelled like this, on their website, and you will get 10% off your order. Anyway, so I'm just going to quickly run through all the materials for you, and I will put links for everything down below. So the very first thing I'm using is this beautiful cabochon, sort of moonstone cabochon, and this came in a set of, I think, 25 different cabochons, which I showed you in the unboxing. So you get a whole bunch of different stones, and I am going to be using this one because I think it's going to look really nice with the theme of the necklace, which is a kind of underwater princess, I guess, is the theme. And then I also have these forms. So it's a big pack, and you get 3 different shapes. So you get these teardrops, you get these diamond shapes, and you get these horse eye shapes. So we'll be using the horse eyes later. This is going to be a 2-part video. So in the second part, we'll be using the horse eyes in the chain section of the necklace, but you will need 2 of the diamonds in order to do the bezel for our cabochon. And you'll notice that one of them looks a little bit funny. Well, that is because I have bent it so that it sits nice and flat on top of my cabochon, because if you do not bend it, it's going to be standing out. See how it's like sticking out, and you can kind of see it's just poking up. So what I did was I took my round nose pliers. If you don't have round nose, maybe if you have nylon pliers, that would be ideal. You don't want to scratch the metal while you're doing this. If you don't have nylon pliers, just get your round nose pliers. And all I did to bend this was I used a polishing cloth, and I just put it in there, and then I just bent a little bit, bend, okay? And then I measured, and you know, how does that fit? And I just did each corner, each of the 4 corners. So you have to do these ones as well as these ones. And I just kept kind of bending until it fit pretty well. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to kind of sit flat on your, flattish on your cabochon, okay? So yeah, that's a little tip. If you don't have, you know, you don't want to scratch it, you can just put it in there and then just bend it like that, okay? So, and then I have some 11-0 Miyuki seed beads here. So I have this pretty matte blue-green, kind of metallic matte blue-green. I think that it would be Miyuki number 112064. And I am also using Miyuki 4202, which is the Duracoat galvanized gold. Okay, that's just from my stash. And then also these ones from Beebeecraft, which are so that would be 11-576, I believe, at Miyuki. It's a kind of silky blue, looks like a silver lined silk gray or blue color. This we won't be using today. We'll only be using that in the chain along with the horse eyes, but I'm just running through all the materials now for you. And then I have a cute little octopus, and he is going to sit underneath our pendant like this, as a kind of almost like a little fringe. And you will need 2 of these. One of them do not bend, because the front one you want to bend because it's you know, curved on the front. The back one, you just want it to be flat because it's just gonna sit on flat like that. So, and that's the other nice thing about having the clear stone is you'll be able to kind of see the diamond through the stone a little bit, so it kind of looks really neat. Okay, so I'm also using a beading needle size 10 and some beading thread, and I am using Nozue Sonoko thread today in beige, and you could use a gold thread as well, just to kind of disguise better on. You don't want to use one that's gonna stand out on your form, so that's why I'm using the beige. I actually ran out of gold. I don't have any gold, or I would use gold. So if you have gold thread, use the gold thread. If you don't, then just use a beige or whatever, you know, you think hides well on the form. Okay. All right. So to begin, we're going to do some brick stitch around the bent form. So once you have kind of got it so it sits pretty nicely, it doesn't have to sit perfect. Like if the ends poke up a little bit, that is okay, because you're gonna have beads going around and they'll bend over anyway. Okay, so go ahead, grab your form, and to start the brick stitch, I'm just going to tie a knot. That's just the easiest method, really, is to tie a knot. So I'm just going to tie a square knot with my thread, and I don't need a huge tail. I am using 45 inches of thread today, which is about 115 centimeters for those of you on metric. Okay. Wow, this is difficult for me. I am struggling. Okay, there we go. I did it. Yay me. Okay, so just kind of tuck your tail out of the way for a minute, okay? And I'm gonna start just stitching along this side here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna brick stitch 6 of our blue beads. So to begin, we have to start with 2. Okay, so pick up 2 of your 11 O's, and let me kind of bring you in a little bit. Okay, pick up 2 11 O's. You're gonna go underneath your form and just kind of push it up against your finger like I'm doing. Get a little bit of tension there. And when you pull all your thread through, okay, you're gonna have your 2 beads here. And right here is the thread that's going underneath the form. So I want to sew into that bead where that thread has gone under the form. So that bead right there. Okay, and go ahead and pull. And they're just going to hang out. Now the very end bead, he is going to stick out and be a rebel like this until we get back to the beginning and flatten him down. So he can just sit up like that, but the rest of them will fall in line like good little boys. Okay, so so next we're gonna pick up another 11 O. Again, I'm gonna kind of go through under my form, and I'm kind of pushing with my finger. Okay, just kind of holding it so it doesn't slip under. And then where my thread that's going under the form is, which is right here, see it's coming out right here, that's where I want to go into the bead. So I want to go in that side of the bead. If you go in the other side, it's going to sit very strange. So you don't want to do that. You want to go through where your thread is going under the form. Okay, so again, pick up 1, and then here's where my thread is going under. So I'm going to go into that hole, that side of the hole, and pull. And you can kind of like give it a little tug, make sure it's all snuggled up with his buddies, okay? So we're gonna do 2 more, and then at the corner, we're gonna do a gold bead, right? So let's just go 1. And the other thing you wanna make sure of is that you're not accidentally, like if your thread's over here and you go through, you might accidentally loop through your thread on the way back out. So make sure that all of your thread is like away from you when you're entering your bead. Like all of it should be on one side. So all of my thread is off in this direction, okay? So I know that I am not getting caught around anything, okay? So if you find that you're getting a weird little loop, it could be that your needle is going back through a loop of your thread. So, so one more time, just kind of pull that and then make sure all your thread is over there, out of the way, and bring your needle through. Okay. Okay, so there are our 6 blue beads, and then I'm going to do 1 gold bead at the corner. Okay. Okay. So the rest is kind of the same. So you're going to do 6 more in a gold bead, 6 more in a gold bead, 6 more in a gold bead, and I'm gonna just fast forward through that for you so that you don't have to watch the whole thing in detail, and I'll come back when I'm about to do the gold bead on the end. Okay, so I just finished the last 6 on this side, and I'm going to go ahead and add my very last gold bead on, so, which is exactly the same as what we've been doing all along. Okay, and then we have to connect this bead to our starting bead. So to do that, we're just going to go down that next bead at the starting bead, okay? And then we're just going to go up through our gold bead again. And then those 2 are now joined. So your piece should look like this. You should have 6 colored beads on each side and 1 gold bead at each point. All right, so now we are going to begin working the bezel. So go ahead and you're going to want to hold your flat diamond on the back and hold your brick stitched diamond on the front. Remember that you shaped as well. So you see how once you have the beads on, the beads kind of also help bend downwards. So okay, so I'm coming out from this last gold bead that we just added. Remember, we went down the first bead and up the gold bead. So now we're going to pick up 3 of our gold beads. Okay, and we're going to, on the back, stitch through the one on the back, okay, and kind of underneath it, right? And then we're going to go back up through those 3 beads to the front. So just, it doesn't matter if you go under or over the bottom one, as long as you go through it somehow, okay? And then I'm going back up through the 3 that we just added, plus that one on the front. Sorry, I have a knot in my thread, so it keeps catching. It's just a little tiny knot, so I think I can, yeah, there it is. I think I can keep working with it, so I'm just going to continue on. Anyway, so this is my starter thread now here. So I just can, I want it to come out from the top of the diamond. I don't want it to be stuck on the bottom where I can't get it. Okay, so I'm just going to move that through to the top. Okay. And then hold everything back in place. And it doesn't have to be, you know, held exactly in place at this point. Just try and get it kind of where you want it so you know your tension is okay. All right. So we're coming out from our gold bead here. So I'm just going to move up and down all of the blue beads on the side. So I'm going up the first one, down the second one. And oops, I'm just going to leave that out for a second. Try and keep my tail out of the way. All right, so just work your way up and down each bead. So you should go up, down, up, down, up, down, because there are 6. So down. Up, down, and then when you get to the gold bead on the side, obviously you're going to go up. Okay, all right, so let me reposition this. So here you're going to need to pick up 5. So we picked up 3 on the end, we're going to pick up 5 here. Okay, so 5 of our gold beads. Again, I'm just gonna sew through the diamond on the back, okay, and I'm just kind of pressing it up against the cabochon right now. All right, get that little line of beads, okay, and it's gonna not sit in the right place right now. And then go sew back through all 5 of those beads, plus the gold bead at the corner. Okay, so now we have 2 sides on. Oh gosh, okay. So now you're gonna work your way just like we did before. We're gonna work our way going up, down, up, down, up, down, okay? And then at the other end here, we're gonna add 3. So just like what we did before. So let me just get over there really quickly. Okay, so I'm coming out from that end gold bead. I'm just gonna reposition this. Okay, and pick up 3 gold beads. Go through either over or under, however you want to do it, doesn't matter, just as long as you go in one side out the other. And then back up through those 3 beads plus the one on the gold one on the end. Okay, give it a tug. All right, and then I have one more side I need to do. So again, we're just going to go up and down the blue beads. Okay, and then once you're exiting that gold bead, again, remember on the side here we have 5. So on the ends we have 3, and here we have 5. Okay. And again, we're just going to slip underneath. And my thing is not at all straight at the moment. Okay, let me try and get it in there a little better. Okay, and then go ahead and sew back up through all 5 of those. Now it's kind of enclosed, but it still, you'll see you can turn this. I mean, it could still slip out, so just be really careful at this point. We're gonna address this issue in just a minute by adding some extra arms onto this bezel. Okay, all right, and now we're going to work up and down until we get back to where we started at the beginning. Okay, so I'm back to where my knot is, which indicates that that is the start. So as we're going around this time, we're going to reinforce each of those 4 branches or arms of our bezel as we go. So go ahead and go down all those gold beads at the top. And just repeat the brick stitch by stitching either over or under your diamond, okay? Doesn't matter if you go over or under, and then go back up all 4 of those seed beads, and that's just going to reinforce that connection. Okay, now we're going to work our way down to the next side point. And we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to go through all 6 of these gold beads here. So it's 5 plus the one that's on the original layer of brick stitch makes 6. So I'm going underneath right here and then coming out over the top and going back down through all of these seed beads here. Okay, now here it's a little bit different. Okay, so we're going to go up, we're going to go down, we're going to go up, so we're coming out from the 3rd bead. All right, we're going to pick up 7 of our gold seed beads. Okay, so you want 7 gold seed beads. Okay, and you're going to go underneath the side here. Okay, so just, it doesn't matter if it's like perfectly in the middle right now, just go under the side and go back up through those 7. Okay. And then we're going to sew down into, so we came out from the 3rd bead, we're going to sew down into the 4th bead. Okay, and then I'm going to go back up through the 3rd bead, and I'm going to go all the way down this line again, I'm going to go under the bezel and back up through the very first bead right here. Okay, and see how this can slide up and down? We don't want that. We want it to stay in one place. So what we're going to do is we're going to brick stitch 2 extra beads right here. So go ahead, pick up a gold bead, go under, and back up through. Back up through that gold bead, okay? So that's 1. And go ahead and pick up 1 more. Go under. Okay, oops, see my whole thing's coming out here. And then here, we're gonna go up through the side once again that has the 5 beads. All right. Okay, so it should look like this. So we have a few little beads that are connecting these things together here, okay? So now we're going to work our way, continue working. We're gonna reinforce this end, which right now is going all over the place. So I'll go ahead and get down over there, and then I'll help you with the next bit on this side here in a second. So let me get down here and reinforce that end, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I just came back up from reinforcing this end here. So all I did was go up, down, up, down, up, down to get over here and then reinforce that end. So again, we're just going to go up, down, and up. The third, so come out from the third bead, okay? And remember, we pick up 7 of our gold beads here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, and go ahead, sew under. My cabochon keeps sliding around, which is why we're doing this bit here, just to keep it from sliding so much. And then go back up through all of those 7 again to the front. And then here, you're going to go down into the 4th bead. So we came out from the 3rd, and we're going down into, came out from this one, going down the 4th bead, okay? So this should be kind of centered between those 2. And then you're gonna go back up through the 3rd bead again. And you're gonna go all the way through all those 7 gold beads. Go ahead, slip underneath the form again if you can get under it. And sew back up into that 1st bead. And then I'm going to try and position this where I want it. Okay, kind of here. And I'm just giving that a little tug, okay? So now we're gonna brick stitch the 2 gold beads that go in between here. So you're coming out from the first bead. So go ahead, pick up a gold bead, go under, go up through the bead, and one more. Go up through that bead. And then here you're going to want to slide everything down so that it's up against that, that middle arm, okay? And we're coming out, so we need to go into the top of that first bead, coming out the top of the bead next to it. So you have to go down through that first bead, go up underneath your form, and then you can go up all of the beads on that side and give it all a nice tug. Get it nice and sturdy. And we kind of, it's a good idea to reinforce that arm by just sewing underneath or through the form again. And back through all of those, because we've reinforced all the other sides. So I just want to make sure that this side is also reinforced. Okay, and so now we are kind of done. We've reinforced all the sides. So we need to obviously tie in our tail, and the way to do that would just be to run it down that little line of beads and then cut it off, because you already have a knot. You just have to hide the tail. So I'm just going to run it through those gold beads there. We need to join our little friend on here, down here. So I'm going to now he has a hole right on the top of his head, but he also has this cutout on the side, and I feel like if I joined him in the top of his head, he would be able to turn around, which I kind of don't want him to be turning around. I want him to kind of stay facing forward. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use this kind of hole here to to join him on, except that I can't get my needle to go in that direction. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to bend my needle in order to get it to work. Oh, all right. Anyway, let's work our way. I also want to reinforce this arm because see how it's a little bit loose. So I'm going to work my way backwards, reinforce that arm, and work my way right down to the bottom point here. Okay, so let me do that and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I kind of played around, and you can't actually, because it's such a sharp turn here, I even tried trying to put a jump ring in, and I just can't do it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to bead him on, and he'll just be able to turn around. So so go ahead and go down the first 2 gold beads at the bottom, and I'm going to pick up maybe maybe two. Yeah, 2 gold beads, and I just grabbed a random 8/0, so any 8/0 bead. So I'm going to sew down through his head all the way through his body till where I'm coming out under his tentacles. I'm going to pick up that 8/0 bead with my needle, and then I'm going to sew back up through his head so that that is attached on, and that bead is kind of acting like a stopper to stop him from falling off. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead, go back up through those 2 beads again, and I'm going to continue down the next 2 beads. So that's where I came out from the front. I'm going to continue down the next 2 beads towards the back so that those 2 beads are centered between the front 2 beads and the back 2 beads. And I'm going to go ahead and loop under the form. Sorry, I've got now connected to my octopus. Here we go. Okay, I just went ahead, looped under the form, and then I'm going to go. There's really no way you're going to be able to see in order to go back through that to go back through the 8/0 correctly inside the octopus. So I'm just gonna hope and pray that it stays on. Okay, also now I'm gonna get connected onto every tentacle that he has. I mean, he is cute though. Oh my goodness, I am so tangled in his legs right now though. Oh boy. Okay. Is that now working? Yeah. Okay. Let me get all that slack out of there. Yeah, just be careful because it's so easy to get it caught and you wouldn't even know it. Okay. And again, I got caught here. Okay, yay. All right, so here he is. I think it's pretty cute. So here is our little pendant. I am going to leave my working thread attached right now just in case I need it for once I add my chain on, which will be a part 2 video. Okay, but you can go ahead and sew in the other tail if you want to, just to kind of help get that out of the way. So that is the end of part 1, and there is our little pendant so far, and I think it's going to be really pretty. I'm very excited. So I'll see you guys in part 2. Take care. Bye.